Hi everybody, Josiah here, also known as Chilling Silence, and there was a really good question put to me by CryptoQB on Twitter following yesterday's discussion around ProgPOW. So CryptoQB asks, is adding ProgPOW decided already? If so, which algo gets replaced? And the answer is basically no, it's not decided as such. Decided basically makes it sound like there is a centrally controlling company who's come out and said this is what is happening. Which is not the case. That's not a decentralized and a distributed network. So this is a really good question because it's not the kind of thing that a lot of people understand. Now, what happens, I've actually written a Medium article here. What I'll do is I'll skip past a bunch of stuff and go down to why is this so different from how DigiByte did the Odocrypt upgrade. And what I basically mentioned down here is with Odocrypt, the implementation was completed, finalized, done prior to putting it to the community to basically say, do you want to implement it? This was so that the DigiByte devs could say, here's what we've got planned, we've done it, we've tested it on testnet, we're positive this is beneficial, this is why we think it's going to be great, and it's now up to you to decide if you want to implement it or not and make it live on the mainnet. And so I go into that a little bit further down here. How will DigiByte handle the ProgPOW upgrade? So Christy Lee Minahan, who is one of the authors of ProgPOW, has graciously agreed to help us implement this into the DigiByte core codebase. So what this means is, again, in exactly the same way that this happened with Odocrypt, the code is going to be put into it and made available for people to optionally choose to run or not. Now, what happens is if we don't get the required amount, just like with the Odocrypt upgrade, these are obviously the stats from when we upgraded to Odocrypt. If people don't run that and start mining blocks and start signaling that yes, they are wanting to do this upgrade to Odocrypt, upgrade to ProgPOW, you can tell I've had a long night. Then if people don't upgrade to the latest version which signals ProgPOW support, then it just won't happen. So in exactly the same way with Odocrypt, what happens is there is kind of a block date and a signaling amount. So both of those two things must both be met in order for it to actually lock in. So there's got to be 70% of all the blocks signaling, and it must be past a certain block date. So we might pick a block that's expected to be mined, I don't know, say for example in February, March, something like that. And we must have 70% also by that time. Now the reason for this is that way it gives the remaining people on the network who have not upgraded the opportunity to do so to specifically support this new version after the network has signaled consensus. So yeah, it's a really cool way of doing things, and it basically means that the developers, in this case Christy Lee Minahan, has agreed to help out, and again, we're very grateful, so big thank you to her, it's fantastic. She's going to implement the code into DigiByte core. We're going to do another release. This release will also include some additional improvements that are going to help out with Digi assets. And then it's up to people if they want to run it or not. If you don't like the idea of GPU mining, don't run it. And the network will basically decide for itself. So I think that's really cool, and I think this is a really great way of deciding these kinds of things. It's the same way that it happens with Bitcoin, for example, with SegWit. We did SegWit first, but that's not the point. But you get what I mean. It's a great way of ensuring that the whole entire network basically reorients. Again, so ProgPOW, I don't anticipate this to be very controversial in the DigiByte community. We've had GPU mined algorithms before, and it's something that a lot of people are very, very keen to see brought back. Now, especially if you see the likes of the DigiByte and Friends discussion, or if you have a watch of some of Christy Lee Minahan's other videos where she talks about, I think it was actually DevCon 4, the Ethereum Developer Conference. Fantastic presentation by her there about ProgPOW. So yeah, I think that this is going to be something really good for the community. I'm really excited for it myself. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to allow people to start mining again on their GPUs. So if you've got a graphics card in your computer, you again can directly contribute to the consensus of the network. And I think that's great. I think that's something that we should approve of, really. Yeah. Anyway, that's going to be all from me for today. If you do have any questions, though, like this question, again, thank you to CryptoQB for this Feel free to reach me on Twitter. I'm at DigiByte_chilling. You can reach me in the comment section below. Please consider leaving a like, subscribe, share the video. Otherwise, I'll talk to you in the next video, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.